The past 24 hours or so have been quite eventful in the race to be Idaho's next governor. We've seen the current governor drop a campaign television ad without formally announcing he's running. We've seen another candidate drop out of the race for the Republican nomination, only to assure his supporters he is in fact still running. Ammon Bundy did officially make that announcement this morning after reports of it happening last night came from people inside his campaign. And there is another layer to this. Sources told KTVB Bundy would be stepping back to endorse Lieutenant Governor Janice McGeachin in her bid to be Idaho's next governor. However, this morning, Bundy made it clear that part wasn't true. He's not getting out of the race, just changing lanes. Joe Paris breaks down the last 24 hours that may have major implications in the May primary election.
A whirlwind of words ended up thinning down the field for the competitive May GOP primary for Idaho governor. It all started on the radio Wednesday evening when KBOI Radio's Nate Shellman said this.
Multiple sources say that Ammon Bundy, GOP, well, right now, current GOP candidate Ammon Bundy, will withdraw from the GOP primary and endorse Lieutenant Governor, gubernatorial candidate Janice McGeachin.
Shellman went on to say that Bundy and McGeachin had reached an agreement to support each other.
If Janice wins the primary, Ammon drops out of the race completely. If Janice does not win the primary, Janice will endorse Ammon Bundy in the general election.
It would be a major development ahead of the May primary, two candidates formally working together in an effort to beat the incumbent, Governor Brad Little. A short time after Shellman's show, KTVB's Morgan Romero confirmed with a source within Bundy's campaign that the insight from the radio show was true. But Ammon Bundy himself would soon take to social media Wednesday night to say quite the contrary. He wrote on Twitter, quote, "Sounds like Nate Shellman made some serious assumptions on the air today. Not sure where he is getting his info from. Never did Janice and I make a deal to endorse each other." At that point, there was serious confusion. The Bundy campaign and Bundy himself were saying very different things. Thursday morning, he wrote in an extended statement about his supposed deal with McGeachin that, quote, "Although this is an intriguing idea, the fact of the matter is, Janice McGeachin and I never made any agreement to endorse each other. In the future, this radio host should think twice about running with information he gets from that source. His show yesterday was an exhibit of lazy and tabloid journalism." Bundy goes on to say that he will run for governor as an independent, saying in part, the Republican establishment in Idaho is full of filth and corruption, and they refuse to put forth the party platform. Bundy then listed a random collection of high-profile scandals and rumors pertaining to major Idaho GOP figures. Despite what Bundy said Thursday morning, campaign sources did tell us the original plan involved an endorsement deal with McGeachin. But plans change, right? McGeachin retweeted Bundy's statement, sharing the news with her followers. McGeachin then responded to Bundy with a statement of her own, saying, quote, "Today's announcement by Ammon Bundy that he is withdrawing from the Republican gubernatorial primary makes it all the more clear that there is only one viable conservative candidate in this race." A call and messages to the McGeachin campaign went unanswered, with no response immediately.
All right, Joe, so I guess all of this, what happened in the last 24 hours, just means that there is one less candidate for the Republican primary, but not necessarily for the race for governor.
Right, and I think there's some confusion today amongst the supporters of Mr. Bundy as well as people in the Republican Party. As we clarified there in the story, he's still very a part of the gubernatorial race. However, he'll only likely be on November ballot. And coming up on February 28th, that is the official start of when the candidates can actually file to run for office. That is the formal declaration that here's the paperwork, I'm running for office.
Right.
At that point, we're going to start to see a lot of Republicans officially join the race. Assumably, that's when we would see some technical official information from Governor Brad Little, but also people like Janice McGeachin, Ed Humphreys. A lot of people across the state of Idaho are going to be watching this GOP primary because we know more oftentimes than not, the Republicans do win the statewide races. So that's why there is so much attention on the May primary. But Bundy will not be in that May primary. Likely, though, he will be on the ballot as an independent in November.
Meanwhile, on the other side, on the Democratic ticket, it's a lonely place right now.
So far, there's only, I guess, one or two names out there.
Has made their intentions known. Yeah.
Yes. So I guess, again, on February 28th, we'll start to get a list of names, and really 2 weeks after that, we'll figure out what the field is. But strap in, Brian. We're on our way to May.
All right. Well, thanks for setting the record straight, if in fact it is straight. If anybody can make sense of that, we kind of hope we tried.
It's a winding road.
It is. Thanks, Joe.
Yep.